open tomorrow. Sorry, you guys, I'm just getting kind of tired. But it looks like Master Far had a question about the Battlefield Warrior ground pieces that connect to the Wind Raider stand. Let's check it out and see. Yeah, it's looking like they don't. Yeah, they're even different heights. Similar, but they don't actually link together or somehow click together. Now, I did notice for me pulling this apart and putting it back together, I have 2 white marks already on here just from trying to get it apart that one time and putting it back together. So you can get the white marks in here pretty easily, the stress marks. So be careful about that. So yeah, it's just right there where those are lined up. Now, the way you get rid of these, I haven't tried with this one yet, but I may make a video on that. And normally you just take a heat gun and heat it up super hot, and then you get rid of the white lines. But it has to be really hot right before the point of it melting, which sometimes can ruin this really easily. So be careful doing it. I might show you guys first in a video how it works so you don't damage your parts. You can try it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to Faker. Hopefully Master Fall answered your question. Yeah, you can't even stack them. I'm trying to stack them right now on the floor, and the bumps are blocked by the bottom of the Wind Raider stand. All right, so here we go with Faker. Now, what's cool about Faker is they gave him the vintage head that we all wanted. And so instead of continuing on with the head that we had before, this one right here, we now have a new style of head, which is, I think, going to be the head going forward from now on. I think they've pretty much retired that other head that I didn't think was that bad. It was kind of cool for something different. But yeah, I actually do prefer, the original head. As you can see, here's the original one from the 80s and how much it looks like it. So that's pretty cool. So unfortunately, if you have, this older He-Man, you're going to be stuck swapping the head out. Now, if you did get the 2-pack like I did, this is the one with the boot knife, then he did come with that head as well, so you can swap it out. But if you bought the ones from Walmart or Target or whatever, you may have to get the Battle Armor He-Man to get that extra head. All right, let's go ahead and open him up. Let's take a look. On the back of the box, they show you can pull his armor off. He has a cool sticker, and that he has other figures in the line. We got Fisto and Evil Lyn. Whoa, look, Evil Lyn has the right knees in that picture instead of the sloppy knees. Now, I heard that they did release a new one that has the new knees. I don't have her yet. What stinks is I have some more that are unopened with the old knees. So it's kind of like, man, that's okay though. I'll just keep that one unopened, and maybe someday you're worth more because it has the old yucky flabby knees. So let's go ahead and open up Faker. Faker. Now, I believe in a different country they spell it Faker O-R instead of E-R. I'm not sure about that. If you know... Oh, I just ripped the comic. Oh, no, I didn't. Cool. I thought I ripped the comic. So, it's a different comic. Oh, no, I've seen this comic before. That's right. Sucker Punch. This is the one where Faker looks like He-Man and he smacks. He smacka. See, there it is. Stay down, you dog. And this shows you how it comes apart. Now, when I was a kid, when I was in the store, the first time I bought a He-Man figure, a Masters of the Universe figure, they only had so many figures left. They were all out of He-Man figures. They had Skeletor, they had Faker, they had a couple others. And I really wanted He-Man, but they didn't have any. And so I almost bought Faker just because it was He-Man, but blue. But I decided instead to buy Skeletor, so Skeletor was actually my first action figure. I did not get He-Man for a long time. In fact, I used to pretend like my Zodak was my He-Man figure with a mask on. So for a long time, Zodak was my He-Man figure. And then eventually, my first He-Man figure was Battle Armor He-Man. And I feel kind of bad because I was supposed to get my sister a Christmas present, and I ended up taking the money for my sister's Christmas present and buying my first He-Man. It was at the mall at J.C. Penney's, and I was in line with a present in my hand, and off to the side was a Battle Armor He-Man figure, and it showed the graphic like this right here, and it showed some thumbs fixing it. And I tried to imagine in my head what it was like. I thought, you know, as you rolled the barrel, that it would somehow smooth it out with your thumbs and fix it. I didn't realize it was actually rolling around. I didn't know how it worked. I figured it was some kind of weird, you know, you could just keep stabbing it and then you'd smooth it out again. I didn't know how it worked. When I got it home and opened it up, I was surprised to see how it actually worked by having a rolling barrel. But I couldn't fathom that at first. All right, looks like his elbow looks better than our Skeletor's. So what I might do to try to narrow down what the problem is, I might pull his arm off and stick it on here and see how far it goes up inside there, and then measure the pins of the two to see, and put this arm on here to see how it fits. That way I can start to try to narrow down what the problem is, whether it's the pin or the hole. If this arm makes a gap, then I know it's the hole. If this arm makes a gap, then I know it's the pin. So that's what I'll do to try to figure out what the problem is in my video later on how to fix that gap on that elbow. All right, so he does look pretty cool, and I've already opened one of these before, as you guys know, and I did a quick swap of him and Battle Armor Skeletor to make Battle Armor Faker with the purple armor, and it actually looked pretty good. All right, let's take a look here. Many fans want the Origins head for Faker. Ha ha ha. You know, I've actually thought about that, Jeff. I actually bought a few extra Prince Adams because they had the Sky Sled on sale. And I bought it just so I could paint some of the heads blue, so I could have Faker in that head as well. Just because I had so many He-Man figures with that head. Now I'm debating it was actually worth the effort, because the new head does look cooler. And I don't think I'm going to actually spend the effort to make one of those blue or not. But we'll see. I haven't decided yet which way I'm going to go with it. But all right. You should do some Castle Grayskull styled waffle blocks. That would be cool. Oh, Jeff has the Evil Lyn with the corrective knees. Yep, I want to try to find that. Hopefully they fix Teela too. I'd already buy her too. And it annoys me because I have a Teela. This is, of course, is how the knees looked originally. I have another Teela in the box over there. And it's like if they fix her knees, then I'll have another one with the old knees as well. How come they re-released Faker in 1987? They re-released him because they put him in that comic book where it was a search for Kildor, and so they re-released him at that time, and they put He's Back. I'm not sure, they probably had enough figures, and it was the same body mold they used for King Randor and for Clamp Champ, so it's probably really easy just you know, make a Faker 2 with the exact same body, same molds. Yep. Jeff, I hope you're right. Yeah, I don't know about that, Jeff. If they'll actually take the time to, when they release Faker, to include the Origins head, that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Big Bad Toy Store has the clear skin Evil Lyn with the corrected knees. Nice. Did they release Cobra Khan? Not yet. All right, so he comes with an orange power sword, and I believe, let's see, is it a full sword or a half sword? It's actually a full sword, and this is kind of cool, is I didn't realize this, but I have the newer one that has a smaller thin handle that came in my box. So this is actually a newer Faker release, not the, so it must have been the same time that they fixed the sword for... Of course, I don't have the other Faker sword to take a look at it and see. Where are my scissors? There they are. But just like the Battle Armor He-Man with the vac metal. It seems weird to call it vac metal. My whole life I called it chrome plating. I mean, it looks like chrome. But I guess I'll call it vac metal. Ugh. So it has this thinner handle to fit in his hand. So check that out. Now, it would be cool if you could make a weapons pack with a battle axe and a shield like we saw with classics. Let's go ahead and check out his sticker on his chest. Ooh, ooh. Now the sticker on his chest is like the sticker we saw with the classics, where it's actually indented into his chest as opposed to a flat sticker. Now in the 80s, when they had the sticker, it was actually sitting on top and stretched across his chest. So if you looked at him like this, you would see a gap in there between his chest and the sticker. But it made sense because it was supposed to be two reels that could spin. When it's like this, they get kind of stretched out and oblong, so obviously those two tape things couldn't spin. I really wish they would make a faker that would have this chest piece cut out and have them sit flat and then have a clear piece over the top, just like they did with the $6 Million Man in the 70s. They have electronics covered deeper down and then a clear piece over the top. That'd been really cool if they were to do something like that. But I know it's a lot of effort and probably to be a deluxe figure because of it. All right. Well, I think that's all I got about Faker. There's not a lot to tell. I mean, obviously, he looks just like He-Man. There's no difference. I mean, I don't know why people aren't fooled more. I mean, if you're colorblind, he's just like him. But anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. That's all I'm doing tonight. And just subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. Like always, you know, I got stuff on eBay. I got the helmet. I got swords. I got stuff on my Shapeways. Go to he-pro.com and check it out. If you want to support the channel, what's the best way to do it? Right now, today, I'm not monetized. One of the things I have for sale on eBay right now is this figure right here, a Hebrew figure. So if you really want a Hebrew figure, this is the one I'm selling. This is actually painted yellow, not casted in yellow. And then he comes with his Bible. And I've painted his wrist cuffs and his belt two-toned with a light green and a dark green. And he comes with a slightly translucent sword as well. So you can kind of see how that looks in his hands. So there you go. His right hand is stretched out a little bit. With some heat, it will go back to normal, but it's stretched out on purpose to fit the Bible in there. So it's the right width for the Bible. So if you guys want, he's on eBay right now. I got the link in the description for all my eBay auctions. So there you go. All right. I once stole Faker in '83. My mom made me return it to the kid's house. The kid never knew I had it in his collection. Oh, he didn't know he had it. Well, that's because he had He-Man too. It's so confusing. If you have both, I don't know which is which. Like only because the sticker is how I can tell. That's the only way. Otherwise, you would never know, right? Anyway, I know it seems so weird that they made him blue, but like somebody mentioned before, if they were going to make Faker the exact same, basically you would have this going on. You would have, oh, look, there's He-Man and there's Faker. You know, it'd be like, wait a minute. So they had to make them different. Otherwise, you know, what mom is going to, you know, see that one says Faker on top and one says He-Man, but it's the exact same figure inside. They're going to be like, okay, that seems not right. But I suppose they made one with red glowing eyes and one that's regular. That might do the trick. But usually we saw in the Filmation one, they actually just had it look just like He-Man except for his red glowing eyes. But remember, the toy Faker came out way before the Filmation Faker came out. So there you go. I've always thought since Skeletor's eyes were non-existent, that he is also colorblind and he sees similar to how oh, what is his name? Daredevil sees now. Those movies show Daredevil. So he can see shapes and everything else like that, but colors elude him completely. But because of his vision like a bat, that he can also see, you know, other things that most people can't see. So Skeletor has advantages like Daredevil does with his eyes not being real eyes. So that was just something that I kind of thought of my own. But so he has no concept of color anymore. So there you go. That's why he made him blue. It matched his skin tone, see? So anyway, That's my theory. Now I know sometimes people pretend like uses magic, whoop, to look like this guy, some kind of, you know, or uses robotic stuff where he's actually a robot and has like a hologram around him to make him look like he is He-Man or any character you want. And the 2000 cartoon actually showed Faker that way, that he actually could be any character. He was just a robot underneath that would create a hologram over the top of the character. And in one of the frames, you can see it snap blue and orange just for a split second to be reminiscent of this figure right here. Now, there was a cool storyline I heard one time too, where Faker goes around and tends to be He-Man. They realize that he's really Gar, and of course they are prejudiced against the Gar people. And so when they find out that He-Man's been masquerading as a non-Gar all this time, then they rise up against He-Man, which seems like a really crazy storyline to me, but okay. All right. Let's see your guys' questions. Yes, the Revelation Faker does look like Colossus from X-Men. That is really cool. Good point. Toys of time gone by. Is there a huge difference between your new batch of swords versus the old ones? I bought 2 of the old ones, and they're great. There's not a lot of difference. Basically, with the new swords, let me show you. Oops, I knocked over Hebrew too. Oh, he's got one. No, he doesn't. He's got one in his hands. There we go. So the original batch, when I prepped them, I would clean this portion right here while before it was totally formed, and it caused a lot of them to bend. And then also if I ended up using my light on them, it caused this side to shrink first before this side would. And so you'll see that a lot of them have slight bends in them, and it's kind of frustrating. So the new batch, what I've done is I only clean this portion of it here where it's stronger and around here. And then I leave this alone and don't touch it. And then when I cook them, I turn them over every minute, and then every 2 minutes, and every 3 minutes, and so on until they get done. So less chance of bending. So the new ones have a lot less bends in them than the old ones did. And then I take and sand them afterwards by hand, because now they're a much harder material than just cleaning them off to fix them up. So the new swords have less chance of bends. So if your swords are not bent, it's probably fine. But if you found that your swords are overly bent and you're kind of annoyed at them, the new swords still might have some bends, just not as bad. And this is one of the old ones. So you can see it has a slight bend in it. It's not too bad. I keep trying to straighten it, but the problem is it's actually the material on this side is shorter than the material on this side, because when I heated it up, and sometimes you can put it in the sun and let it sit in the sun, and it will straighten for you. So if you have a sword that's bent, put it in the sun, shaped this way so the curve's going down, and for like 10 minutes, and it might straighten the sword out as it shrinks this side to match. Just kind of like how the coil is on your heaters, where it has the metal different kinds. As the temperature changes, it causes it to bend. It's the same phenomena going on with these. And it's just because they're so thin. And so the Revelation swords don't bend as much as the Origins ones did. But the new batch, using that new process of cleaning differently, it made them so they're not quite as bendy. Now, like I said, they are kind of spendy for the first sword. The first sword's $10. And then after that, the prices drop drastically. And it's mostly to cover the cost for the boxes, because the boxes are starting to kill me on price. So for boxes and labels, if people just order one, it's quite a bit for me to send you just one in a box. But if you order more than one, that's why I gave you guys a huge discount. I think if you get 3 or more, it's like 50% off or something. So then the swords get pretty cheap. And I think 4 or more is like the 60% off. Well, yours didn't come at all. Excellent. And there was a few people last week that I went ahead, even though you guys bought the old ones, I just sent the new ones anyway. I tossed 12 or 15 of the old swords, because they were I just felt bad sending out swords that were bent. So some of you guys that ordered the old swords last week, I just sent a lot of you guys the new swords anyway. So if you realize yours aren't bent, that's why. So hopefully the new price structure makes it work. Wow. Pop actor. That is hilarious. All right. Well, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some more videos. And if you want to get a Hebrew, I don't make them very often. And this is actually one that was in my collection for a while. I did some touch-ups on them before I put them on up for sale. So I don't actually make new ones anymore. I just had two sitting around. It's like I don't need two, so that's why I am putting this one up for sale. And so, like I said, I usually don't sell them very often. So there you go. If you want an official Hebrew, this is the one. This is probably the only one I'll be making for a long time. All right. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging with me tonight. I know it was a lot of videos, and I know I'm just jabbering on. I'm just tired. So I am going to let you go. Bye now.